This is KGW News at noon.
As we speak, President Biden is preparing to announce over $8 billion in funding for Intel to ramp up semiconductor production in 4 states. A portion of the money will be spent here in Oregon. Welcome to the news at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. In Oregon, the federal dollars would go toward expanding and modernizing Intel's innovation hub in Hillsboro. The money is coming from the $280 billion CHIPS Act passed in 2022 that's meant to ramp up semiconductor manufacturing. Intel anticipates the funding will create tens of thousands of new manufacturing and construction jobs in Oregon, Arizona, New Mexico, and Ohio. Intel's head of manufacturing and supply chains stressed Oregon's role in the company's growth.
Oregon is the heart of Intel's leading-edge semiconductor research and technology development and the largest semiconductor innovation cluster in the United States.
The CHIPS Act, coupled with Intel's own investments, mark one of the largest investments ever announced in U.S. semiconductor manufacturing. Intel's total funding amount is dependent on meeting certain milestones, which have not been announced yet. We'll, of course, keep tabs on the president's announcements and what he says in Arizona today. And right now in Idaho, police are searching for 2 suspects wanted in connection with a shooting at a hospital in Boise that left 3 corrections officers hurt. One is in critical but stable condition. The 2 others have non-life-threatening injuries. So this is how it all happened. Police say the corrections officers had taken 31-year-old Skylar Mead, who you see on your screen, to get medical treatment at a hospital. When they were about to take Mead back around 2 a.m., someone attacked the officers, shooting 2 of them. Then Boise police mistakenly shot another corrections officer. Meantime, investigators say Mead got away after hopping into a gray Honda Civic with Idaho plates. He'd been serving time for shooting at law enforcement during a high-speed chase in 2017. Closer to home, an update to a deadly shooting involving 5 Clark County Sheriff's deputies last month. Those deputies remain on leave. But we're now getting a look at court documents detailing why deputies responded and what led up to the shooting. A warning, the details may be difficult for some people to hear. KGW's Catherine Cook has the story.
New court documents reveal disturbing details about what police say happened in this Brush Prairie RV and the man who lived and died here. It was February 20th. Around 1 a.m., Clark County Sheriff's deputies were called to the RV on a welfare check. Loved ones were concerned about the victim, who'd come here earlier in the day to visit an extended family member. Body cam video shows the moment deputies arrived. They confronted the suspect, 53-year-old Jonathan Scott Gale, and the victim outside.
Is everything okay? What happened?
One deputy talks with the victim, whose voice and image are concealed.
Did a crime occur?
The court documents reveal a long list of alleged crimes. Vancouver police, which is investigating the case, say Gale armed himself with a gun, bound the victim with electrical tape, then raped her for several hours. The victim told detectives during the assault she noticed a video camera set up near the bed and several cell phones lying around. Investigators say they also found guns, drug paraphernalia, and what appears to be pipe bombs inside Gale's RV.
Hey, he needs to be detained.
Body cam video shows when the welfare check takes a turn. Deputies start to pat Gale down.
Yeah, weapons on you, yeah? We're gonna pat you down real quick.
No, don't touch me. I'm sick. I have COVID-19.
Investigators say Gale appears to pull a gun from his jacket. Seconds later, 3 Clark County Sheriff's deputies fire their guns.
Drop the gun!
One at a time.
Hey, drop the gun! If you reach for it, force is going to be used against you.
Shortly after that, medics pronounced Gale dead at the scene.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
A note, if you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault or needs support, there are resources available, including the National Sexual Assault Hotline. We have that number and information about other resources in the online version of this story at kgw.com. Okay, let's get to some other local headlines that we're covering for you this noon. Tualatin Valley Fire and Rescue responded to a house fire earlier this morning near Northwest Ubel Road and Dairy Creek, just northeast of North Plains. They posted this video of the fire to their X page. Look at those flames. The call came in around 6:30 this morning. Crews say controlling the fire was challenging due to the rural area, downed power lines, and a cluttered yard. Firefighters put out the fire within a couple hours and said one person was checked out for injuries but didn't go to the hospital. TVF&R has not said what caused the fire. And Portland City Council is scheduled to vote today on whether to create a team specifically for handling protests. 40 existing Portland police officers would have to volunteer. They'd get extra crowd control training and would also get paid 6% more on days they respond to a protest. That would cost Portland police an extra $380,000 per year. This comes after controversy around the police response back in 2020. The Bureau says training is needed, especially considering the upcoming election. Some civil rights advocates are skeptical about the whole thing, but if the plan is approved, the first officer training will be in May. Also, Washington County Sheriff's deputies arrested an Aloha High School student after posting several pictures of themselves on social media with wads of cash, drugs, and guns. Deputies say they found all of this that you see on your screen inside the teen's car, from suspected cocaine and marijuana to several weapons. Investigators say they believe the student, who is a minor, was selling drugs. KGW's John Adams is following up on the story to get more information. He'll have an updated report on KGW News at 4 o'clock. Before we get to Rod Hill and a look at your weather today, we are headed out to the coast where it is gray. It looks a little wet out there. Cannon Beach here. Indicative of what's to come, I think. More rain in the forecast, basically, Rod.
Or maybe you could say what's going to stay. Look what's offshore. So it's been just a low marine deck this morning, and maybe you live in a spot where you've had some drizzle earlier this morning. Now, Christine just showed you maybe still some drizzle lingering there in parts of the coast. The clouds will get thicker as we roll through the afternoon and that disturbance starts to move in. Here's a gray look from Lincoln City, Chinook Winds Casino Resort Cam, 53. It's still clear when you get up into the Cascades and then central and eastern areas of our state. Timberline right now enjoying a beautiful morning. It's only 42 despite the sun. Temperatures have been fairly steady, but everybody else here on the west side is cloudy. There's the Oregon Garden Resort camera in Silverton. Looking out, here's the Reserve Vineyards and Golf Club cam in Aloha. Portland's temperature is at 52. Maybe we warm up 3, 4, 5 degrees this afternoon. That would probably be the tallest order we could come up with. And starting at 3 or 4, sometime after 3, we'll start to look for increasing scattered showers in the area. Those shower chances look decent throughout the evening. Not looking for a lot of total rain, but the raindrops will start to pick up in comparison to what we have right now, which is mainly dry weather in the city. Back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rod. Now to some back and forth on the topic of the border. A federal appeals court reinstated a hold on a controversial Texas immigration law hours after the Supreme Court took off the hold and allowed it to go into effect. NBC's Morgan Chesky has more on the battle over border security.
The past 24 hours can only be described as legal backlash when it comes to that controversial immigration law SB 4, signed by Texas Governor Greg Abbott in December, but it has not yet gone into effect as a result of multiple things happening in the last day or so. The first, the Supreme Court deciding to lift the pause and allow SB 4 to go into effect on Tuesday. But then just hours later, a lower court decided to reinstate that pause just before midnight. So as it stands right now, it is still on hold. The law itself empowers local law enforcement, police, sheriff's departments, state troopers, and gives them the ability to arrest migrants suspected of crossing the U.S.-Mexico border illegally. And it also gives judges the power to deport them back to their country of origin. Now, critics say this could open the door to potential racial profiling, and law enforcement that even is on the side of SB 4 still doesn't know how exactly they would put it into practice, especially with certain departments across the state already stretched incredibly thin. Morgan Chesky, NBC News, Eagle Pass, Texas.